And then I went to undergrad at Georgetown College in Georgetown, Kentucky, where I majored in athletic training. And then from there I went to grad school at Southeastern Louisiana University, and then which is now part of y'all's conference rivalry, right? Anyway, and where I got my grad studies in health education, health promotion. So stayed out there for a year, and I said, okay, I'm gonna stay out here. I got a teaching gig out there. I was up there for 7th and 8th grade science, and then Katrina came, and I am a victim of Katrina. And then I said, you know what? I'm done. I'm going home. There's still hurricanes in San Antonio. I said, not a problem. I got all my athletic training stuff. I'm gonna work at high school. Not a big deal. Not a problem. Was coming back, and when I was coming to San Antonio, a friend of mine was actually applying for one of the jobs at Toyota. He's an actual, going to work on the line. So the reason I'm giving you the background is kind of how we stepped into it. So he's going through was going to go through the interview process. Already did all that. Was going to go through the physical process. Prior to that, a couple of months before, he actually tore his graph, his ACL graph. He had in high school he had tore his ACL. And then he was doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and then he tore his graph. So he was kind of worried. He goes, hey, can you put me on a workout program? I said, no problem. So we're on the phone, we're communicating, we're sending information back and forth. He goes to do his physical, and he's talking to the therapist at that time. And they do a full musculoskeletal evaluation, right? They're pulling, they're tugging, everything like that, range of motion, strength, so on and so forth. And he brings up to say, I'm working on my ACL, I tore my ACL, I tore my graph, I'm working, my friend's an athletic trainer. So we're doing a sports medicine approach. He goes, we're working out like if I was getting ready to go play sports. And she was pretty surprised. She didn't understand. So he explained, he goes, I played football, and I tore one time, so I kind of know what I need to do. So I called him up, and he gave me some more. So we're working out. I'm running, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, whatever. And something clicked at that time. She said, tell him to give me a call. I'm interested to find out more about what you're talking about. Okay, so she called me, and we had a nice little 2-hour discussion, and she says, I want to offer you a job. I said, we're about to start the plan here, we're looking to expand, and we want to start, we're looking for people. So I said, okay, sounds great, because I'm moving back. So when I got her, we did the interview, and I talked about it, and I talked about the sports medicine approach. So the reason I bring that up is because it's important to understand that he was an athlete. He still considers himself an athlete, and what I'm going to talk about is industrial athletes. And because of him, and for him understanding what we do in our profession, we're able to do what we're doing now here at Toyota. As I've gotten in there and the role has evolved, I'll tell you about all the things that we do over there, okay? All right, so just like we train and work like a pro athlete, just like the football players getting ready to play on the line and face that defense or offensive line, these guys are getting ready every day to face that line. So we're going to train them, and we're going to work them out just like they're getting ready to play a game. The most important thing that we talk about is industrial athletes. The day that these team members come in, our employees come in, we call them and consider them industrial athletes. We have to ingrain that in their mind and say, you are doing a physical job. Your job is going to be sore, but it's going to be rewarding. You're going to be tired, but you're going to love what you do. And we have a major connection with our population. I have about 4 NFL athletes and a couple of ex-Major League Baseball players that actually work with this. They're done. And so what happens in sports when you get hurt? In NFL, what's the average lifespan of an NFL player?
50.
Years in the NFL.
Oh, it's like about 15.
3.5. The average lifespan of an NFL player is 3.5 years for a life. You get hurt, what happens? They got somebody quicker, faster, and not hurt that's going to take your job, right? 3.5 years, guys. That's the average lifespan of an NFL player. So what happens is, when they're done, the NFL does what? Go ahead. Kick to the curb, you're done. So the majority of these guys have been playing sports since Pop Warner, right? That's all they've been living for is this dream of NFL, and then they're done, and now they're stuck, and they don't know what to do. So that is taken into consideration what we do, because we're not, if you're hurt, we're not going to spit you out. We want to keep you. We want to keep you here for 30 years. The amount of time and money that we invest from a company is very, very vital. So versus saying, okay, you're hurt, we're going to get somebody else. No, you know what? We acknowledge you. We respect you. It's one of the pillars of Toyota. We want to keep you here. So we're going to get you prepared to come back. And I'll talk about that as we finish. So industrial athletes have to have a couple of major things. So I got Michael Jordan over there, very decorative athlete, right? And then I got Billy Bob over here. What do they have in common? You look at them and you're like, well, they have nothing in common, right? Well, they actually do. They have a lot. They both have to have a skill. trust me, I can't play basketball. I tried. I can build a house better than I can build basketball because I throw a lot of bricks, right? So Billy Bob has to have that skill. Every team member has to be certified in that job. They have to accomplish it. There's certain tack times. Tack time means how fast they have to do that job. Right now we're running 62 seconds. Our tack time is 62 seconds. So in other words, every 62 seconds there's a brand new truck rolling off the line. Boom, boom, boom. We're making money, right? We're making trucks. So we're pushing them. So that person is really, really moving. So they make it look very easy. Just like last night, you saw the championship. Those guys are quick. They're fast, right? They make it look very easy the way they hit those baskets. You have to have the will. You have to have the will. The guy has to be there. Okay? It's a very tiring job. Billy Bob has to rotate 2 weeks days and then goes to 2 week nights and then comes back 2 week days and 2 week nights. Right now we're running about 10 to 12 hour shifts. Okay? Our demand is very, very high right now. So we're spending a lot of time at work. Well, you know, to play the NBA, NFL, wherever, you have to have the will. How many times, and right now you probably see there's an athlete or two that you see that are just very, very talented, but don't want to be here. They're tired. They've been doing this since Pop Warner, and mom and dad want them to play, so they're playing, and they're exhausted. They don't want to be here anymore. They don't have the will. The drive is gone. Coaching, they have to be coachable. We're going to teach them how to do their jobs. We're going to teach them how to take care of themselves, so they have to be very coachable, just like an athlete. You have professional athletes, or excuse me, you have athletes that you probably know right now that are very coachable, but they're stubborn, right? They know it all. They don't want to listen to coach, so coach really doesn't want them, right? Raw talent, not a waste. And then great equipment. So we give everybody Jordan shoes when they show up at Women's Point. We provide the best type of equipment out there. We work a lot with our engineers. We work a lot with our production. We value our team members, so we're going to keep up with the latest robots, the latest techniques, the latest things that we can come up with in order to provide. Just like if you look into sports, there's always something new and fresh out there, right? You look at a magazine, there's say something ergonomic and this and that or whatever. So we're always trying to provide the best equipment available. So what does an athletic trainer do in the industrial world? Okay, so we do pre-hire testing, work conditioning, which is a new hire and return work. I'll go into that in a little bit of detail. Ergonomic system investigation, ergonomic evaluation, body mechanics, injury prevention, number one thing, injury prevention, and then improve quality of life. I really want to hit on this quality of life. Right now, the city of San Antonio is fat, plain and simple, right? We have this initiative with the mayor, it's called 2020, and we are supposed to lose weight in order to be a healthier city. We've been doing this for years, guys. We've been doing this for years. We're teaching our people. How many times do you get one of your girlfriends or a friend or something like, hey, lose weight? What can I do? No, well, you can give them some techniques, right? Right? They're always trying to, you guys are helping out. You guys got to live the lifestyle as well, you know? So very important quality of life. And it goes back to what I said. If you're in a pro sport, you're done. They don't care about you. You're done. What happens is we don't teach people how to transition from eating 10 meals a day on steak to how do you translate that to regular life. If you look at the majority of your athletes that have left the professional, they're very fat because they still eat what they think they can eat. They can't. So that's one of the biggest things is educating our people about the quality of life. How do you do that? And believe it or not, it goes to the next level. We get people at work to say, hey, my spouse is a little jealous. I've lost weight. She wants to lose weight. Can you put her in a program? Yes, we can. We definitely want to take care of you because if you're happy at home, guess what? You're going to be happy at work, right? And then the kids also feed into that. So we really are pushing the health initiative. And we're on the south side of San Antonio, so we definitely have some advantages and disadvantages of being down there. So we want to definitely improve our community, right? Because if you look at it too, we also want to teach our younger children because our children are the future. Teach them well and let them lead the way, right? Anyway, so our children will eventually, we want them to eventually work at Toyota as well. So we want to start early. Okay, we want to ingrain that in them. Okay, so pre-hire testing. What is pre-hire testing? So tests are used to assess the applicant's qualification. It's pretty much what it says. It's before you get hired, and we're going to test you. We're going to make you lift boxes. We're going to make you walk. We're going to look at your gait. We're going to look at your ergonomics. We're going to tug at your shoulders, range of motion, strength, the whole enchilada. Okay, it's a regular exam like if you're getting ready for sports. Okay, so we look at cardiovascular, blood pressure, the whole thing, the whole gamut. We want as healthy people out there, right? Because the more unhealthy they are, the more risk they are. So then we have to see if they qualify or not. So then what happens from that is that based on our system, we have a system that we evaluated each job. Each job has a certain physical demand. We know that this job, to put on a tire, has to pick up, whatever, 50 pounds. So we need to qualify that. How do we mimic that in our testing? So we have a lot of things. At the end of the test, what is your name? Emily. At the end of this testing, this day, I'm going to have a sheet that says Emily qualifies for all these jobs. Emily does not qualify for these jobs. Why? Because let's say I need her to put something up on top of the ceiling, and she can't reach that high. We don't discriminate height. You can't discriminate height, but reach you can. She can't reach. Am I going to put her in a job? No, because then she runs the risk of getting hurt, right? So that's what we do. So we're going to have a big old list of what people's jobs they qualify and what they don't. So it helps to have successful team members. It reduces absenteeism. They're happy. They enjoy their job. They're able to do their job. So then they're definitely there. And then definitely most important, it improves morale. Okay. New hire work conditioning. You went through the testing. You went through the pre-hire testing. We put you in a position. Emily's going to go to the paint department. She shows up. What are we going to do? We're going to make her work out. We're going to put her through mini camp. All right, just like any pro athlete. She has to prove herself physically. We're going to get her what's called Toyota Ready. All right? It's cardio, strength, flexibility, functional training, lots of education. We do yoga, we do Pilates, we do strength training. We use the periodization theory, so we're going to ramp up really fast as hard as we can, and then the line's going to take over the rest of the job. We're not here to bulk people up. Okay, and that, just because they're bulky does not mean you have strength. Okay? We're trying to see, if you look at probably to me, and I tell this a lot, is the strongest, healthiest people that I've ever met or known are farmers. Why? Because they're always doing something different every day. And they're not buff, but they're cut, right? They have that strength. One day they're baling hay, the next day they're tending to the cows and this and that, right? They're always active and stuff like that, but you never see them, hey guys, how you doing? Right? They're usually very thin, very cut, and that's kind of what we're looking for, right? That's the goal we're going for. So pre-hire testing, new hire work conditioning, so we're going to get them Toyota ready. It's a paid mandatory orientation, 100% participation. You can't go away from it. So at this point, once again, we ingrain into them, you guys are now technically professional athletes. You're getting paid to work out. And most people just are like, oh yeah, I get paid to work. For 5 weeks, the first 2 weeks they don't do anything but work out. They're just going to work, doing some paperwork, and working out, getting paid to work out. Professional athletes, right? So we're going to get them Toyota ready. We want to prepare them physically for the demands of the job, obviously, and then definitely, once again, improve that quality of life and quality of work. Return to work. Very similar to the work conditioning process. Let's say a team member does get hurt, whether it's personal or work-related. Personal, maybe they're in a car accident over the weekend. Maybe they have cancer. I've had several people that had maybe a double mastectomy because of breast cancer or colon cancer or whatever, and they're out for months, sometimes years. We're going to get them, again, physically ready for our job. The doctor releases them. They're gone through all their treatments, or maybe they're still going through treatments. We're still going to get them physically ready to do this job. If they were in a car accident, they go and get all the stuff looked at and stuff, and the doctor releases. Well, the doctor doesn't know what we do. There's times that people come back, the doctor releases and say, you know what, you're not fit to do our job. We're going to drive you harder than the doctor thinks you're going to do. We're not going to give you a desk job. So and there's times that the doctor does it the other way. Oh, you're in a factory. It must be dark and dingy and dirty. No, it's not that hard. So we're able to kind of justify. So our doctors have the final say so if you're able to come back to work or not. So once again, we'll put you through a workout. We'll get you physically ready. We also get you mentally ready. If you're out for several months, you lose your routine, right? You're kind of sleeping in late. Maybe you have to adjust your schedule. You're doing this. You're going to physical therapy. You're seeing your doctors or whatever. Well, you've gotten out of your routine. So this will get you back mentally as well. And we know as athletes, we know as athletic trainers, that is the #1 key to getting physically ready. How many times have you guys had an injury and they just can't get it out of their head? Especially if it's their first injury and they're in college, they have a very hard time getting over that hump, whether it's just an ankle or an ACL. Depression sets in, right? They get exhausted. The drive isn't there. So this right here will get them mentally ready as well. So the reason we do the return to work, like I said, is it eases the team member back into full duty. Team members are less likely to re-injure themselves or sustain another re-injury. And then team members receive a multi-dimensional approach to health and fitness. Now, the state of Texas is a little different. One of the biggest things you have to understand is where you're practicing. But in the state of Texas, the Texas workers' comp is a different avenue, but we have to understand that. So let's say you have a torn ACL. You go to surgery, you have no problems, you come into work, and you're totally fine for like 3 months. All of a sudden, your knee starts bothering you. Maybe we moved you to another area where your knee starts bothering you. Guess what? I now bought that injury. I, at Toyota, have to pay for that injury, whether it's a reconstruction or maybe just your injections or whatever. So we have to be careful in how we approach it. So that's one of the reasons is we put them through this work conditioning to also understand where are they physically and can they do. Okay, so you've been through the new hire orientation, you went through the entire stuff, you're on the line. Emily's working in the paint department. She's been there for 7 months now. One day she says, you know what, I'm a little sore. So there's this thing called HYP, how's your process? Every day they're going to ask her, Emily, how's your process? And she's going to say, hey, everything's good, no problem. And she's going to say, hey, I need some help. I need batteries for my flashlight. Okay, not a problem. Hey, I need next week off because it's Fiesta. Okay, we'll work on that. Right? So this is her way of communicating back to the Toyota plant, back to us, back to management. Hey, I need some help. Or she says, hey, I'm sore, my shoulder's bothering me. Well, right now I have 12 exercise physiologists and kinesiologists, agreed people, just like you guys, that will go out there and they're going to evaluate her work site. They're going to look, is it man, method, machine, material? The first thing I'm going to look at is always man. Because as you get tired, you change your body mechanics, right? We all know that. You look at sports, are they ducking right, are they moving right, are they shuffling their feet, and so on and so on. So you're looking at body mechanics right off the bat. Or is it something else? Is Emily doing the best job she can with what we gave her? Maybe the part's not fitting. Maybe she's like, it's not working, so now that's why her shoulder's bothering her. Well, then I got to call Japan or wherever we're getting the supply for to find out why is that not fitting. That's supposed to fit. We have a certain type of government standards that is supposed to fit. She shouldn't use her elbow or her knee to get that in there. So then I'm able to call whoever I need to find out why that's and make changes to make Emily's job easier. Because Emily's only going to do what we tell her to do. Put this part here. You have 62 seconds, go. Right? So if you're having problems, what she's going to stress, she's going to be nervous, you freak out. What does everybody do when they get nervous? They tense up. What's the main nerve that you have in your neck? The brachial plexus. The brachial plexus. So that's the main thing that comes down your neck, down your shoulders. Most injuries, your hands, numbness and tingling in your hands are not really in carpal tunnel. It's actually from your shoulders, from being tense. Whether you work in an office or in a plant, an industrial plant, the first thing when people get tired are like, man, I'm sore, man. And they start rubbing on their neck, they start rubbing on their shoulders, right? So we're going to look at man, method, machine, material. We're going to help her out. We're going to give her self-care. Our guys, we're going to treat her just like an athlete. Hey, I need you to come in. I need you to stretch. I need you to ice down. I need you to heat up. I'm going to kinesio tape you. I'm going to do some grass in on you. Whatever it takes, just like we are in an athletic training room. All right, we're going to get them ready once again for their job. So one of the biggest things that I'm always asked is, what is ergonomics? Okay? So we're going to do a quick little one-on-one. We'll do a quick little thing here to kind of talk about it a little bit more. So, all right. So what is ergonomics? Ergonomics is the science of fitting the workplace conditions and job demands to the capabilities of the working population. It takes job tasks, equipment, and environment into consideration. It's a continuous improvement. Very important word, guys. It's called Kaizen in Toyota. Kaizen, continuous improvement. You're always going to hear that. You're going to hear that when you guys go to the tour. It's to design a workplace for what people do well versus what people do not do well. Okay? So we want to, we all know we have bad habits. So we want to eliminate bad habits. We want to make it as easy as possible. Some people say, hey, we want to dumbify it. I call it high level, right? We want a high level as much as possible to make it easier for the person. Okay, so we got two people here. We got Billy Bob. That's not Billy Bob. That's actually Pedro and Pancho. Okay, Pedro and Pancho. Okay, so Pancho, we ask him every day, how's your process? He marked an X. He works the same pitch as Emily. My shoulder hurts. So I call you guys. I said, hey guys, I need you to go out there. We're going to look at a couple of things. How do we make that job easier for Pancho? Okay, let me remind you, we are a multi-billion-dollar company. Money is not an issue. Okay, so how do I make that job easier right now? I mean, not in real life, but how do I make that job easier for Pancho? Just think, basic, what do you think? User injury prevention techniques. This is where it really comes into place. How do you make that job easier for Pancho? Come on, Emily, you're tired of this job. How do I fix it for you? No, anybody? Step stool. Easy. Hey, give me some stairs, Vato. Right? Okay, so I get you some stairs. I can do that. Let's make it, you know what? Multi-million billion company, if I fix it for you, what is your name, sir? Ruben. If I fix it for Ruben, then I got to make sure that Emily's able to do that job. So, you know what? I'm going to make it a hydraulic ladder. Why not? So therefore, he can go in there and then she can go in there. Okay? The only wrong answer to this is get a taller person. That's the only wrong answer. We want to fit the job to the person. Okay? We want to make it for everybody to do the job. So if you tell me how to get a bunch of tall people, then all of a sudden one day, you know, all my tall people get sick. Then I got, what is his name? Kayla. I got Kayla doing this. Right? So now she's going to get hurt. She's going to twist an ankle, bust an ACL, or something like that. Okay? What are some other things that we could do other than the stairs? We said bring it up. How about?
Lower
bring it down. Right? Let's lower it. Maybe a pit where the entire trucks come down. Or what about if we do that before they install that hatchback, right? Last time I checked, Baco ain't doing nothing. We can have him hold it down for Pepe, right? Something. Hold it down for each other so they're able to do it. Or make a longer tool. We got engineers. We got people that design this stuff. Why not a robot, right? A robot. Not where it takes his job away, but he still has to control it. So maybe a switch down here, and he's able to do it with the big old long extension. There is no wrong answer. Like I said, the only wrong answer would be get a taller person. Once again, what we have to evaluate is when we make a change, when I get with the engineers, is okay, how does it affect her, him, them? That doesn't matter if you're short, tall, skinny, flaca. How does that affect the job, right? Okay, this other one right here. His back is bothering him. He calls me, we go out there, we're going to look at the job. What can I do to make his job easier? What's the first thing I say I look at as an athletic trainer? The man. Okay, so what is he doing wrong? Oh my God, he doesn't know how to squat, right? He's bending over incorrectly. Okay, so that's one thing. What else? There's something else on there we can do to help him out. Raise it up. Right? Raise it up just a little bit. Now, I can't go too high because there is obstruction here, but we can do that. However, if I lift it and don't address the man, he's still going to hurt himself. He's still going to do this right here. I mean, people throw out their backs lifting a piece of paper. Right? So we're always going to look at body mechanics first and do that. So this is one of those dual roles that we have to educate them as much as possible on how to properly squat and how to do their job. So the objective is to prevent team members' exposure to workplace risk factors that cause aggravate trauma disorders. The best way to treat an injury is to prevent an injury. Okay? As an athletic trainer, what is the first thing you look at when you hit the field? Before the game starts, before the first kickoff, tip-off, what's the first thing you should do as an athletic trainer? I'm sorry? Survey the field, survey the court, walk around. Did the maintenance work on the lights and also leave a hammer on the floor? Right? Is there a crack somewhere and that kind of stuff? So that's the first thing we're always going to look at is how do we prevent it? Is prevent the injury first, and you have to worry about injuries. Okay. This person, I don't know if it's he or she, they're not dead. They're actually working, okay? They're cleaning out that pit. As you can see, there's some water hoses here. I'm assuming that's water. And then some scrubbers right here. How to make that job easier for that person?
Make the hole bigger.
Bigger hole. Plain simple. Bigger hole. We bought this thing in Japan, okay? We bought this thing. It's not really us. It's a stock photo. But anyway, we bought this thing in Japan, right? Hey, it meets government standards for Japan. Well, guess what? People here are what?
Bigger.
Bigger, right? Love our barbacoa Big Red. So it's bigger, right? So we make the hole bigger for them. Okay, what else can I do? What else can I do? I don't know what's in the tank. Hydrogen sulfide. I don't know, some kind of crazy chemical. It's like a meth lab in there. I don't know. So what do I do to make that job easier for them? We'll get to that a little bit. No, I don't. I'll get back to that. How do I keep the person out? I don't want them to go in there. See, I don't even know they're asleep. Maybe they're on break. I don't know. A door. Maybe make the hole. I know we talked about making the hole bigger, but what if we do it where they're able to do it from the outside? right? Maybe an entire door. What about, once again,
From the back.
robot, some kind of scrubber that they remote control from the outside,
Or those things that
right?
put their arm in.
You know, yeah, maybe one of those things where they put their arms in, right? There's multiple things you can do again. Once again, we want to prevent the injuries. I make the hole bigger and they're still laying down. I mean, let's say this was the rest of the hole right here. They still got to lay down in there. Is it really taking care of the problem? No, they're still laying down, right? They're at disadvantage. So we look at different options once again. What is the wrong answer for this? Get a smaller person. Thank you. I'm glad you guys are listening. So we talked about when we're looking at ergonomics, we want to identify man, method, machine, or material. Machine. You like that? Machine? Okay, the basis of ergonomics is human capability versus machine abilities. I can only work a machine so hard and so fast before it breaks. Okay? Well, right now we're working, like I said, 12-hour days. We're running 62 seconds of a truck every 62 seconds. That's fast. That's really, really, we're actually the fastest production in the world right now. Really, really fast. I can only crank your arm so far back before what? It breaks or it tears something. Right? So we need to find that coupling medium. How do they both work together? Okay? I want to have a robot or some kind of machine to make your job easier, but I don't want to make everything automated because then I won't have any people to work in my line. Right? So I got to find that coupling medium. Standardizing work. Okay. So, no professional can perform without the proper equipment. Once again, I'm the coach. I'm telling him, hit for the fence. I need a home run. Let's go. What is he going to do? He's going to swing hard. He's going to swing hard, swing fast. Is he going to get anywhere with the rake? No. So this is the image I use for my engineers. Say, hey, we're telling them, you know, this person is just going to do their job. They're there to do their job. If you're not giving them the right stuff, they're going to fail. So it takes a whole entire team to make sure, just like any professional team, you got to make sure you have your equipment manager, you got to have your athletic trainer, you got to have your coach, you got to have your team. Everyone has to be on the same page to get the job done. Okay, this is Carl Lewis, one of the most decorative Olympians of all time. He actually ran for senator. He didn't make it, or governor, one of the two. Anyway, so very decorative. He has proven that he can run very fast, a lot. So what's wrong with this picture? Yeah, what's wrong with them? Wrong color. I agree with you. Not matching up. So, once again, wrong equipment. We say go, he's going to run as hard as he can, as fast as he can. He's probably going to twist an ankle and break something or tear something up, right? And there goes his career. So once again, I have to provide the proper equipment. So, this image was taken from the Athletic Training Association a couple of years ago. Not every athlete wears a jersey. And I love this picture a lot because this is the way it really is. Right now, we do have athletic trainers in the law enforcement. We have athletic trainers in the military. We have athletic trainers in sports that we've ever thought about, like golf and NASCAR. Okay, we have, and I met those people, by the way. We have athletic trainers in the Circus du Soleil in Vegas and in Florida. We have athletic trainers in Delta Airlines. We have athletic trainers in shipyards. We have athletic trainers. We're about to, hopefully, if everything goes well, have athletic trainers with the fire department. I'm trying to work on that to help somebody get that pushed through. FedEx, UPS have athletic trainers. It's very easy for them to and I think it's harder to get through the companies than it is actually the employees. Probably 90% of our employees played sports in some form or fashion in middle school and high school, and they know what an athletic trainer is. This is Texas, guys. Sports is huge. Everyone pretty much knows what an athletic trainer is. You know, so what I bring to you guys is understanding that concept doesn't need to just stop in sports. We don't just need to be like, oh, we're done. Okay, somebody actually that was in this seminar, I'm gonna try to go. Someone that was in this lecture was similar to you guys. Actually, is a person who called me up and said, hey, you know, my cousin's a fire department. He got hurt and I rehabbed and I thought about what you said. So all of a sudden, this person's pitching to the city of San Antonio to try to get athletic trainers for the fire department. It's going to be huge if that happens. Very, very big. So one of the reasons I want to come here is to open up your minds and open up is, you know, I love sports. Should we get away from sports as athletic trainers? Heck no. That's our bread and butter. That's our bread and butter. And I just had an opportunity to land this job with Toyota. I'm directly employed by Toyota. I am not a contractor. Most companies will do a contractor. They do that more for both insurance purposes and for pay purposes. But Toyota took the gamble and said, we want you directly with Toyota. And there's a couple of people that are directly hired. And that's changing too, because then we have to follow whatever Toyota wants us to do. So, but I want you to understand that we can always go the next step, think outside the box, innovate what we do. And that's kind of what I got for you guys. Questions? Yes?
If you don't mind me asking, how much do you get in a year? How much do you make?
I can't tell you directly, but I make a little bit more than your high-end pay of an athletic trainer in high school.